Lara Simpson. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at all. Now, I will admit the reason why I got you on. Now, it wasn't planned, but obviously, I've previously had your partner on, and it's not very often that I get someone on, and it just so happens that their partner is sort of like in like the musical space, or does a similar thing. But obviously, as with social media, you just follow you just follow them and just figure out, oh, they've done this, they've done that,
Yeah.
they've done this cool thing, they've done that cool thing, they've worked with this cool person, etc., etc. um yeah, so basically I'm just gonna be just find out everything about you, if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds
As
good. Yeah,
possible way.
sounds good. I saw your podcast with
Okay.
Simon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So I recognized, yeah, the podcast and everything. So it was cool.
Yeah, I will admit, because obviously with what I've done so far, it's been sort of more or less audio based, but
Yeah.
but like my main, like one of like my main goals for 2025 was that I'm gonna try and get this out on video one way or
Mm,
another, one way
yeah.
or another, and hopefully it looked and sounded okay. I think.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
hope.
it was really good. It was really professional.
Cool, cool.
That was a good idea.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, okay. So basically, okay. So what is, I guess, okay. So what is I guess, what do you call your official job title, if it's even a job title in itself? Musician, or just
Um, I think it
jack
depends
of
who I'm
all
talking to,
things?
really, because
Yeah.
it depends like how much they know about music. So if they
Sure.
like don't know anything at all and they're like, what's your job? I'll just say I'm a musician. Or if they know a
Sure.
little bit, I'll say I'm a violinist and composer, arranger. But then if they're like they are a musician and they know what these things, because some people are like don't know the difference between orchestrating or arranging or composing or anything. So it depends who I'm talking to, really. But I would say like um it's mainly a violinist, and then with composing, arranging on the side. That's probably the simplest answer.
Sure. So you might be able to see in the back, I'm a guitarist myself, so I do know bits about music. We've got a GCSE in it, if that
Cool.
helps.
That's a good start.
But apart from, yeah, always a good start. Um, no, yeah, though with violins, the most like experience I've had was basically being given a violin from, I think it must have been a work friend of my dad. It was literally
Mm.
just like a spare violin, because it was like, oh, he's musical, something might happen.
Yeah, just give him that, see what
And
you can do.
yeah, just basically just violin and go from there. Yeah, and literally I broke all the strings. It's
Oh
and
no.
it's in and it's 'cause, it's one,
It's very fragile.
yeah,
Yeah.
surprisingly fragile, aren't they?
Yeah, I found this out when I
Yeah,
was in lockdown because I did a lot of teaching, and I used to teach violin to little kids, and then obviously like normally in their lessons you'd like tune the violin for them because it's quite kind of fiddly and they can't do it if they're so young. But then obviously in lockdown I had to get their parents to do it, and the amount of times when I'd be like, just turn the peg like a
just turn
tiny
it a
bit,
bit
and
more that way. Yeah,
yeah, I'd be like, don't do it too much because like the tiniest movement makes a big difference. I'd be like, just the tiniest bit, and they'll
yeah.
obviously I don't understand it. And they go, and then the whole string would snap off and like the bridge would snap off. Honestly, it was a nightmare. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Was the violin your original go-to, or were you given one,
um,
or did you just think, I'm gonna learn the violin?
do you know what? It's weird. Like I don't actually remember asking about, because I asked my mum this question, and because I don't remember, but I think I started on the piano, and it was because we moved into a house when I was about 4 or 5, and the previous owners of the house like they just had a piano and they didn't want to take it with them, so we moved into this house, and then my mum was just like, oh well, if there's a piano here, we may as well get them to try and learn it. So I think she got us piano lessons because of that, and then I think I enjoyed that. So I think I started piano when I was like 5, and then obviously just enjoyed it. And then I don't remember why I've chose violin, but obviously one day I mentioned it, and then was like lucky enough to be able to get lessons on that. And then it was weird because I was always like better at piano, but then when when I was 13, I sort of like quit piano because I thought I'd like completed it. I was like, oh well, I've done my grades, that's it. So I just start, which is so
I've
stupid.
completed piano, sorted, done.
Like the most stupid thing because I carried on playing. Like I still play a bit, but mainly just like at my friend's house or at parties and just for fun. But yeah, so then I carried on the violin, and then I think because when I was like applying for uni, that was like my main thing because I was still working on getting grade 8 and stuff, and that was the piano had sort of died away. So I think that's why I ended up going to uni to do violin. But it's weird. I actually quit when I was like 10, and then because my sister quit. And I just copied everything she did. So she quit, and I was like, well, I'm going to quit too. And then my granny took me to see the National Youth Orchestra when I was like 12.
Oh, nice.
And I remember that, and I was really inspired by them. And I just remember seeing all these kids who were so amazing at their instruments, and it made me start up again. So it's weird, isn't it? If she hadn't done that, I would have been probably having a completely different life. But yeah.
Yeah, because I know when I originally learned, even that because I just thought like guitar was a really cool instrument to play, not necessarily because it makes you attractive or anything like that. It wasn't anything to do with that. It was just because it was just a really cool instrument to play. I will admit, violin, in that special way, doesn't always give off the same vibe.
No, I was actually embarrassed by it when I was in school. Like I used to get embarrassed because I used to have to carry my violin case in. I remember on like a Monday for school orchestra, and I used to go early, so I hid it upstairs so I didn't have to take it to my lessons because I felt like such a nerd. Which is kind of sad, isn't it? But then it changes because now I feel like it's quite cool to do it. But wait, sorry, I'm just going to plug my phone in.
Yeah, that sounds so good.
One sec. Because sorry. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's how I started. Cool. Plugged in.
Because the first time I saw I guess violin in like a cool sense was on I think because it was on. So, because a violin ensemble group did Britain's Got Talent,
oh yeah, was it a Scala?
And they were like, and they were like, these are cool violins, like electric violins, we're like the skeletal.
Yeah.
Like the structure. I was like, that's a cool violin.
Yeah, maybe that's actually what made me want to do it for uni, because I think that happened, I don't know what year that happened in, but I remember when I was 15, 16.
Late 2010s, I know that much.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then I would have been in year 10. I think I remember that as well, because I was the same, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I think that's probably why I carried it on, because I was interested in that. I bought an electric violin, even though my teacher didn't want me to buy one because she was like, oh, it's going to ruin your technique. But I bought one anyway. And yeah, so I think that was they were really cool. They were sort of the first people to do that. And now it's so popular, so many gigs are electric. But they were the first ones to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, so you did violin at uni, right?
Yeah, I went to LIPA in Liverpool and did violin. It's like a music degree, but yeah, my instrument was violin.
No, I will admit, I had no idea what LIPA was. Then I realized, oh, that's Paul McCartney one. I didn't even know that he had his own school. And obviously being a guitarist myself, I had no idea.
Yeah, I only found out about it because I was in Liverpool with my family and we did the Beatles tour, and it was like...
I've done that. It's really good.
Have you? Did you do the taxi tour? Is that one that we did?
No, I did the... yeah, so I was in Liverpool December 2022, and it was like a real... Yeah, and it was like a really snowy day. And so basically... So I did the rooftop tour sort of thing.
Oh, the rooftop tour
Yeah,
of like you mean one of those red buses?
yeah, that sort of thing.
Mm.
The actual person like doing the tour was as English as you could possibly be. There was
Oh
no
really?
accent to him whatsoever.
Oh really? That's unusual.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, yeah. So then you started a violin group, as it happened.
Yeah, I did when I was at Liverpool. Yeah, so I thought I wanted to do some gigs. So I thought, how am I going to do this? So I thought, well, should make a string quartet because that seems to be what people play at weddings with. And then I didn't know any I didn't know any other violinists because at Lip I was the only violinist in my year because there's mainly like
Okay.
singers, drummers,
Yeah, yeah.
bass, all that. So I was like, how do I find some string players? So I joined the Liverpool Philharmonic Youth Orchestra. And then when I went there, I met like loads of other young people who played string instruments, which was amazing. And then I like roped 3 people into starting a quartet with me, which was yeah, it's all different people now because they've moved away and they're doing other things. But yeah, and then we just like went to someone's house and took a few videos of us playing like what the cellist. And so the cellist that joined my string quartet, I think it was either her mum or dad used to play violin or cello, and they used to run a string quartet. So it was amazing because she had like this pad of music, which she was like, oh well, my mum and dad don't need it. So we had like a starting point to have a repertoire. So we had these 4 pads, and then from then just like slowly added on music that we found online, or started to take photos and just build it up from there. And yeah, it's still going today, which is great, which is like 10 years later, which is a bit mad. But that's how that was the first thing I sort of did when I was there, like apart from uni studenty things.
Yeah, so I guess like you've left sort of like a legacy there.
Oh, that's nice to think.
Well, if the group's still going 10 years later, that you basically did, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, you
Oh,
must have
yeah.
done something, right?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been like it's never been like my main thing, but it's always just been like running
Yeah.
alongside everything, and it's been like just this steady form of like how to get gigs really. So, and it's led us to some cool things like playing with some artists. So yeah, I'm really glad that I did it.
And so like for that, was that like your first like foray into like composing and arranging, or were you or were like doing that along in your course as well?
It was a bit of both, really. So in my course, we did have a composition module where we learned the basics of like Sibelius and stuff. And I think,
Oh,
yeah,
yes. I
you know
remember
what I mean?
Sibelius. Hey,
So
that was great
Sibelius.
fun.
Oh my God. Yeah, most people hate it, but I actually love it. It's like Marmite.
That thing could have been thrown through a window. It would be, oh,
Yeah, it can be frustrating, like if you don't know the short lessons.
like it did its job. I'm fully, I can say that now. It did its job, but
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like it takes a while to learn it and get
it does.
to make it fast and stuff. But yeah, I did. We did learn that as part of the course, and then I think I started arranging for my quartet. Yeah, because the books we had, which I mentioned, were quite classical, and at that point people were wanting, because it was from my friends' parents, but people at weddings were wanting like, pop songs like Ed Sheeran and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let's just write. I didn't really know where to get the music from, so I just tried to arrange it. And my early arrangements, oh my God, were like terrible. Like, I look at it because some of them we still use them, but just because it's like we've got it and I need to replace them. Like, I've got this whole list of things I need to replace, but it's mad to look back and think like how much you've learned since then, because I used to like not lay out my parts properly. Like the arrangements were so boring. But yeah, I guess it's a good thing because I've learned. But it was a case of like learning as I did it, kind of thing. And yeah, I think I think I knew how to arrange probably maybe from playing piano, because that gives you a sense of like harmony and what notes are in what chords and all that, and reading music. And then yeah, I just sort of did that alongside it. But I think my arranging got a lot better when I did my masters, probably, which was then I went into like in-depth orchestration and stuff like that. And just like doing an arrangement for a string quartet and then being in the string quartet and having to play it as well. You learn a lot from that because you're thinking, oh, well, why did I not write this? Because it's actually easier to play it. And so it's just been a thing. But I really enjoy arranging, and it's cool. Like, the best part is like hearing it live rather than on Sibelius, which is a lot better.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you go straight from LIPA to your masters?
There was 6 years in between, which is quite long. But two of them were COVID, and then
and
the
COVID
rest of them
don't
I was
count.
just
It don't count. Just
COVID doesn't count. So it was like 4 years. We'll put it like that.
Well, what's the thing? On the 23rd of this month, 5 years. All I'll say is
What was that?
Say 5 years. Well, on the 23rd of March, 5 years. It'll be 5
really?
years since Phil went to shit, basically.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
It's mental, isn't it?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, so that was when I decided that, because of COVID was obviously so long. It made me think, oh yeah, I'm gonna study again. And then as soon as I finished, I wanted to do that. So yeah.
So you finish off university, and then I guess what do you do now?
I know. Well, I had no idea what to do. I remember that. I was so confused. Yeah. It's like, well, now what? I was like, basically, I had no idea. But I knew that I wanted to do music, but I don't really know what. And I basically got a job teaching at a school in West. You're not from Liverpool, so you won't know the area, but yeah, it's in South Liverpool.
No.
Yeah, so I did that, but I didn't want to be teaching. I wanted to do gigs, and I wanted to travel, and I actually wanted to get on a cruise ship. Like in my 3rd year, I decided like, oh, that sounds great because you get to travel the world and you get paid. So I was like on a mission to get on a cruise ship, but like it was really hard because like I kept making a group and then somebody would quit the group, and then I'd make another group, and then we'd like get an audition, and then we'd do the audition, but then someone else would quit, and it went on for ages until finally we got a cruise contract. So I was basically just trying to get on a ship whilst just like teaching, and then just like doing random wedding gigs and random anything basically that came out, like any random recording sessions or and then did the cruise ship. And then I was going to do another cruise ship because I thought, well, this was fun. It's a good way to save money. So my plan was to like do like 2 or 3, maybe 4 even cruise ships just whilst I was like 24, 25. And we had another one booked in we were supposed to go to Australia and like Alaska and all these really cool places. And then we were supposed to go in April 2020 to our second contract. And then obviously COVID, and I found out by watching the news, because I was like, at the time I was like, if I can just get on the ship, it'll be fine because it'll only last for like a month, and then at least I'll be there. And like obviously had no idea. And then I was watching the news, and then I found out on the news that my whole like contract was just fucked, basically. Sorry to swear, but I was like, oh God, now what do I do? Because I'd already like left my house, and I'd already like given up all my students, and so that plan did not go to plan. So that's what I did really in between. And then in COVID, I just started teaching again. So I went back to all my little students, and I was like, hi, we still want you.
Remember me? Hello.
I was like, hey. And then I just taught them online for like the whole of lockdown, which was good, but also not really what everyone's plans changed, didn't they? So can't complain. It was a good thing to have. So that was
My friend is actually he's working on a Royal Caribbean cruise currently. He is cool. But basically, do you know the show, the Take That show, Greyest Days? Ever heard of it?
I don't actually know. I know who Take That are though.
Sure.
And I know Royal Caribbean.
Okay. So basically, he's on his second contract with Royal with Royal Caribbean. It's really enjoying it, but it's hard work.
Yeah. Is he in the the show band, or is he in?
No. He's a performer, singer.
Oh, cool.
he's doing the show. I think he might be Gary Barlow. I'm not 100% sure. We'll admit.
Yeah. That's cool.
With that sort of thing, like what tends to be like a normal day in the life when you're doing the whole cruise thing?
I think it depends if you're there's two types of contracts. So you can be a guest entertainer or you can be just a normal musician. And so when we went, we were just normal musicians. So our contract was like 6 months long, whereas if you're a guest entertainer, it's like 1 or 2 weeks. And if you're a normal musician, you play, it's more like background music in the bar or lounge. And you get paid still a decent salary, but if you're a guest entertainer, then you're like doing only 1 or 2 shows a week in the theatre, and it's like advertised, it's like a proper show rather than like background music. So you get paid way more, and if you're a guest entertainer, you like get your own cabin. And basically, actually at the moment, I'm trying to get a guest entertainer contract because obviously it's way better, isn't it? Like, you don't have to go for as long, you get more money, it's like easier. But so yeah, it just depends. But so I only know what the other, like the normal musician kind of day-to-day life is, and that was like we'd play 6 days a week, we'd get 1 day off, and then the average day would be like 3 or 4 sets, and each set would be either 45 minutes or an hour. So your average day would be like 45-minute set and then 15 minutes off, then an hour, 15 minutes off, and then an hour. So yeah, it was a lot, but it's just the length of it because we were there for 6 months. So it was like 24 weeks, which is like just a lot to do 6 days a week, and it got a bit repetitive because obviously that's a lot of music. So we had like 250 songs, but that would only last us like 3 days, like about 3 days. So each week we'd have to repeat our songs like twice at least, kind of thing. And even though we had so many songs, it was like not really enough. So we were still trying to, like, I had my laptop and I was trying to like add songs to the set as we went along. But it was fun, and like I'm glad I did it. And the good thing is you don't have to spend much money because you don't have to pay rent because you just
everything's provided, isn't it? So
exactly. So you don't have to pay for food or like rent or anything. You just can save everything, and you get to see some cool places. And yeah, lots of pros and cons. I think it's a great thing to do if you're in that stage of life where you just want to explore, and you know what I mean, like don't have many ties. And yeah, so I would recommend it to people. But now I'm not at a stage where I don't want to do that again. I want to go for like 10 days and then come back. Don't want to go to some nice places though, so we'll see.
It's with my friend who's there now. He's on his second one, and because his parents go on for like 2 weeks because they can get it all cheap. And then they were saying like it's a good way of sort of cutting your teeth, and on like the whole like performing for so long, and they were astounded of how much you improve just generally. With like singing, dancing, and acting.
Yeah, that's true.
See places and everything else, because I guess were there any like bucket list places that you wanted to visit, or were you just a case of I'm just cool with not in England?
Yeah, pretty much that second one.
Yeah, like
honestly, I think we would have taken anything. Like genuinely, like I would have taken a ferry from like Hull to Hull to Zeebrugge, and I would have done that. I was so desperate to leave because my it had taken so long to get a contract, so I was just like, I just want to do anything. But
I just want to do this.
Yeah, like just get me out of this country. But yeah, no. So I was like lucky that our contract was in a nice place. But yeah, because it was in the Caribbean, which was lovely.
Yeah.
But
there were worse places to work. Yeah,
can't complain. It was amazing. But I think if I do another one, I would like to go to, I don't know, the Mediterranean. Is that boring? Mediterranean, or like back to the Caribbean, or they do like really cool Alaskan cruises. Because we were supposed to go to do this one where we went to Australia and then went to Hawaii and then crossed the whole ocean and then went to LA and then up north to like Glacier Bay, and it sounded so amazing.
Oh,
and
very
obviously
nice.
we never got to do that, so it would be cool to do that again, but I don't know if that's possible as a guest entertainer, because I think it takes a long time to obviously travel that far. So yeah, I just take anywhere sunny.
Absolutely. Don't
At this
blame me at all.
point.
Hello, everyone. If you've made it this far into the episode, thank you so much. As you're watching on YouTube, it would mean the world if you could leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, follow the podcast on socials at Reaching the Crescendo Pod using the links in the description below. Now, back to the episode. Okay, so you do the cruise ships, and then I have no idea sort of which order you've done stuff. So has worked with like Clean Bandit, Ollie Murs, and the Wombats, and casually performed at Abbey Road Studios. So I'm like, just tell me everything. Tell me everything. I need to know everything.
Well, they're all like that's why I was laughing, because I clearly haven't put them in any sort of order on my website. Like, it's all so random.
There's no dates or anything. It's just saying I've done all this, which is great.
Yeah. So the Abbey Road thing, that was in
like,
2000. I'm trying to remember. That was in 2018. Well, actually, that was when I was 8. Sorry, yeah, that was 2018. So when I went to uni, I applied for this thing. Like, do you know Rudamental?
Yes, I've heard of the band, and they did the thing with Ed Sheeran for his album.
Yeah, they've worked with him.
Yeah, though apart from that, I haven't really. They're not really the top of my Spotify playlist, I will admit.
No. But they've worked with a few big artists. But they were doing this thing where they did an open call for like young musicians to apply to remix. The song "The Freak" by Chic, Nile Rodgers and Chic.
Freak out.
Yeah, freak out. Yeah, so they were remixing that. Right, Rudamental were going to do a new version of that with Nile Rodgers.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is quite
nice.
random, but cool. And they kind of advertised for like young people to apply and like play on the record. So I like applied for it, and then I got it, which was great. And then so I went to London for the weekend, and I met Nile Rodgers there, and then met Rudamental, and then basically did that, and it was really fun, and kind of like tried to stay in touch with them afterwards. So like followed Nile Rodgers on Twitter, and then
as you do, yeah.
Just because I was like, I may as well try and keep in touch with him. And then I went to see Chic a few times, like, and then so saw him like backstage. So it came from like that, like work experience thing. And then randomly one day I was literally in the hairdressers, and then I got an email, and it was Nile Rodgers' assistant, and it was like, hi. I hadn't seen him for a while, and then he was like, yeah, we're doing this recording session in Abbey Road tomorrow. Niall is doing a new version of Let's Dance, because he produced that for David Bowie. So
yes,
he actually produced it.
Yes, because my dad is a massive fan of David Bowie. Massive fan. Yes, I do know that.
Good taste. But so he was going to redo that, like an orchestral version of it. And then I still don't know why he thought of this, but I think Niall was just trying to think of a way to...
It's Nile Rodgers. He can do what he wants. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, true. Yeah. There's no rules.
Just the way it goes. No.
But yeah, I mean, he's really like a champion of like up and coming people and trying to help out young people. So, because he didn't have to do this, and he would have just got a fixer to fix him like a string orchestra, but he thought, oh well, I'll get them to fix me an orchestra. But what about that random girl that did this project with me like a few years ago? Get her to come and play and lead the orchestra. So it was completely out of the blue. And I was teaching at the time, and then obviously they were like, do you want to come to Abbey Road tomorrow and work with Niall on this thing? So I was like, well, obviously yes. So I cancelled everything, went down to London. It was so unexpected, and then I did that, and then from then, like, yeah, I've like stayed in touch with him. He's been like not like every day, but yeah, he's been great. He's been really supportive, and he did my like reference to get into uni, which I was not expecting, and so he's been really great as a
That
supporter.
makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's
yeah.
how, to answer your question, that's how that happened. That was kind of a
So
long
basically,
story.
it all happened. It all happened in one go. It all happened in one go.
Well, the Nile Rodgers thing was like all from that one thing, yeah. But then the other things were random. So the Wombats thing was actually, it was actually
I've seen
the
them
drummer.
live. They are very good. They are
Oh,
very
I'm
good.
seeing them tomorrow. Me and Simon are going to go see
Oh,
them.
that's cool.
In the O2.
I saw them at Reading Festival in 2019. That was like my first
Cool.
festival experience, and my friends nearly got crushed during
Really?
at the front during a Joy Division. They're going to play Joy Division. Move. Otherwise we're going to go poof.
Oh my God, yeah. I've seen some videos of them playing live and they're like really, really energetic, aren't they? Like bring so much.
Yes, they are very energetic.
It was, I should say, it wasn't actually, it was the drummer from the Wombats, Dan. It was for his solo project. So I was like, I should say that because it's not actually that band, but it's the drummer from him. So he does like his solo project alongside the band, and we did that for him recently. And then yeah, what else? I forgot the rest of the question, but that was some of it.
So do you have Nile Rodgers' number in your contact list?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow, okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, I was like,
that's cool.
Because I followed him on Twitter, and then he was like, I was like, just about, oh, it'd be cool to come see the band live, and then he just replied like, yeah, text me on my number, and I thought it was a fake number because it's an American number, and I didn't know they had like didn't start 07. So stupid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. From experience,
Yeah,
they don't.
it is real. It is real.
Yeah. Wow. That's
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And so I guess Ollie Murs.
That was like one of the first things that was similar to the Nile Rodgers thing. That was like a kind of, I did that literally, I think I was like 17 when they did this concert with Claire. Do you know Claire Teal? She's a jazz singer. And
no, I will admit, the first time I heard her name was today on your website.
Oh, really? Well, she's
never
she's
heard of her, I will
amazing. She's a jazz singer, but her and Ollie Murs and Gregory Porter, they did this concert in
that's
Leeds.
How that happens. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so that was all together, like Gregory Porter, Ollie Murs and Claire Teal. And that was just like it was just like a one-off performance in Leeds for, I think it was another thing where they were like inviting young people to come play with them. But I had to audition for that, and I think that was just before I went to uni. So yeah. And then the Clean Bandit thing, that was when I was at uni. They were doing.
You took the words out of my mouth on that one.
So I just remember the end of your question. That was when we were they were doing, one of those Christmas songs where they like get loads of different artists all together to raise money for charity and try and get a Christmas number one.
Like a Band-Aid sort of thing, right?
Yeah. They did that, and it was.
That's cool.
Yeah, the song "All Together Now" by The Farm. That's like a Liverpool. You might not know it if you're not.
I might have heard it, don't know it. Like, just from the name.
Yeah, you probably recognise it. But they, one of my lecturers at uni was he is in The Farm, and they did a version of that song to try and get Christmas number one, and they'd like gotten all these artists to come and like play on it. So Clean Bandit were on that. So, but then they also got some of the students to come do it. So, that was cool because got to do strings with them, which was really fun.
With Clean Bandit, it's Grace.
Yeah, Grace plays the cello.
Like she just looks really cool. Like, is it just me that she just like gives off that vibe of just being, I play the cello and I'm really cool?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. She is really cool, and she has so many different cellos. Like, I swear she has every color cello with like, you know what I mean? Like, she has every electric cello, every acoustic cello. Like, she's really, really cool. Yeah, cello goals.
I will admit that segues perfectly into my next thing, because obviously, as musicians, it's impossible to only have one instrument. It's impossible to have one. Obviously, I've got a guitar there, and I've got a guitar behind up in that case there, and obviously another one in my room. Do you have a collection of violins of different styles, different colours, different everything?
Can I turn this round? I'm sitting right in front of it.
You should be able to if you just go for it.
It's in here. Let me see if I can turn the camera.
That's cool.
Wait, I'm such a technophobe. I'm just going to film it. So yeah, this is my... Oh, I don't know if you can see this. This is
I can see some cases. Yes, I can see some cases.
It's probably a bit boring unless I open them, but basically they're all in here, and it doesn't look good on camera. Okay. But one of them's a 5-string electric violin, which is not actually mine, but I'm borrowing off a friend for a show. And then one of them's an acoustic violin, and one of them's a 4-string electric violin. But I want to buy a new violin, acoustic violin, this soon. Just trying to find time to do it. And I really want to buy a transparent electric violin, and one that's got built-in lights.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
This one that I've got, it's like I've stuck lights on, like LED lights onto it, which does look cool, but it's a bit annoying because it's got loads of tape on the back. So I want to try and buy one that's actually built in. And also I realised, because my electric violin is like bright purple, and sometimes it doesn't really match if you're wearing like a red dress or something. So I want to get a transparent one so it looks like it will match. Like wedding outfits and stuff. So yeah, I'm building my collection. It's like I want to have like 10, but it's obviously just a bit expensive. But one day, hopefully.
Yeah, because in theory, like to me, a guitar is just a bigger version of a violin. Is that just me? Is that just me being a guitarist, or does that have some? Is that technically true or not really?
Probably, I wouldn't say no. Probably not.
No,
I think they're quite different. Yeah, but like, I can see why you would think that because it's kind of similar shapes. But yeah,
it's a bit bigger.
Well, it's like. Yeah, like different tuning. Like guitar's got 6 strings, violin's got 4. Guitar's tuned in like random intervals, isn't it? But and also like I feel like if you said that about a viola, I'd be like, yeah, bigger version of a violin. But then again, if the viola player heard me say that, they'd be like, how dare you?
That does make logical sense. I will admit that does make logical sense. So my point being is that like you'd think that they would be able to sort of use some of the extra stuff that they put on like electric violins, as you say, like lights and that sort of thing, onto guitars. You'd think it would be sort of doable.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen at least as far as I'm aware, a
light up guitar.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's true, actually. I've never thought about that. That would be cool.
Do I need to trademark that now?
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow I'll trademark that. I have no idea what it's called, but I'll trademark it in one way or another.
Now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool.
LED
I'll
guitar.
quit my job tomorrow. That's all I need to do. Wonderful.
This is
even better.
Do you know what though? Like, I actually think that would be popular. Like, people love the LED violin. Like, they just love.
That's why I asked the question.
I think you should do it.
They look cool, don't they? Cool. Yeah. So, as you say, you have like different violins for different jobs. So what criteria does a job need to say, oh, I'll use this violin for that job?
Yeah. Well, this violin, the 5-string one, that's very specifically for, I play in a tribute band for Electric Light Orchestra. And
yes, I did see.
Yeah, and there's one solo in a song called Living Thing, which it uses the notes of the viola and the violin.
Terrible thing to do. Cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you know the beginning of it, that big violin solo. It's like a gypsy kind of style solo.
Again, I would recognise it.
Yeah,
wouldn't know it just from you saying it.
Yeah, no, it's all right. But that solo is weird because it goes at, like, there's a few notes which are too low for the violin, so you can't play it on a normal violin, so you have to play it on the 5-string. So yeah, It's got an extra string that goes a few notes lower.
Oh,
which is needed for that solo, which is very niche. So that's what that's for. And then the other ones,
that's music nerd talk right there. I like it.
Yeah, it is really good. It's literally for like 2 or 3 notes in our whole solo. There's a whole new instrument just because, you know, like if they're really nerdy ELO fans, they'll know. They'll be like, oh, you didn't do that right.
Yeah, no,
but
they didn't quite play that note right, did they? Didn't quite play that note right.
I want a refund.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's for that. And then the other ones, I'd say like it depends though what people want. But if you're playing with like a DJ in a club or something, they almost always want electric because they like you to like walk around. So with the electric violin, you can use a wireless microphone, and then you can be free, and you're like amplified enough to be heard, but you're not like wired up to a PA system. And then so a lot of the time for more stuff like that, you'd use the electric. But then if it's more of like a sophisticated wedding ceremony, obviously they'd prefer the acoustics. And if you were doing, you know, violin for like a folk or country singer, I'm sure they'd want acoustic. So it depends on the genre, really. Classical obviously would be acoustic. I don't do much classical though these days. Yeah, so it just depends what it's for.
Funny enough, I saw that someone was at Country to Country on the weekend. I was very jealous. I was very jealous.
Yeah, no, he said it was great. I'd like to go as well. He said it was really good.
Hang on. So you said violin and club music.
Yeah,
that's a new thing on me. How often does that happen?
It's quite popular, you know. It is quite popular. Yeah, it's it's called DJ Live. So they'll have a DJ, and basically you'll just like come along and plug your little wireless thing into their desk, and then just improvise over whatever they're playing. And they do it in kind of yeah. They do it in like sometimes normally in a bar, I would say. And yeah, I've done quite a lot of it really. I did one on, sometimes it's like special occasions, so like on Valentine's Day I did a gig in a restaurant, and that was DJ Live. And then sometimes I know like some you know, like wedding, if you book a wedding DJ, sometimes they offer it as a package. So they also do it with saxophone quite a lot. Like that's quite popular. I don't do it like with a regular thing, but I'll just every now and then something comes off, so I'll do it. But I know some people do a lot, like all the time, but yeah, it's quite hard. Well, it depends on the DJ. Like if they're playing music that's, you know, got proper harmony and you can grasp onto it, it's easier. But sometimes if they're playing quite obscure bassy stuff, it's kind of hard to know what to play. So yeah, it just depends.
So just in general, so as a guitarist, the amount of times people say, can you play Wonderwall? I love that song.
Yeah.
What is basically the violin version of Wonderwall?
Ooh.
What is the song about you play violin? Can you play that song?
Oh my God.
Rather be, probably, isn't it?
It could be Rather Be. Yeah, that's one of them. This is such a good question. I would say Rather Be, or it could be 1,000 Years.
Oh, I saw your thing about this. I saw your thing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. At weddings, there's always 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And then but then also when we were on the cruise ship, everybody was asking us for The Devil went down to Georgia, which is like this American like mad. So I'd never heard of it before.
I can understand that being American. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. But we were like, the first person who asked for it, we were like, no idea what that is, probably some random obscure thing. And then people kept asking, and we were like, maybe we should look into this because it seems to be quite popular.
Yeah, maybe we should actually look that song up and add it to the set list.
We should
potentially.
And we actually did add it, and they loved it. So yeah, if you're on a cruise ship in wherever we were, Florida, then it's The Devil Went Down to Georgia. But if you're in a UK wedding, it's 1,000 Years. Or Bittersweet Symphony. That's always popular.